Hey, welcome to another episode of The Vault of Cult with your host Chris.
And Mark, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright, how are you?
I'm pretty alright.
I hope the listeners are alright out there in listening land.
They will be alright.
They're
listening to us now, they are alright.
Yeah, well,
you're alright.
Yeah, enjoy the show, guys. Thanks for the support as usual, guys. Get us on the socials, Instagram at Vault of Cult. Yeah. Get us on the Gmails, vaultofcult@gmail.com. Yeah. Share us, comment, give us some feedback.
Yeah, say whatever you'd like. Say what you want.
Yeah, it's all welcome.
Recommendations if you like
your own reviews.
Yeah.
Get in touch.
You know what I mean? Stuff that's pissed you out. Just tell us all the things.
Tell us gossip.
Yeah.
Gossip.
Yeah.
Give us some goss. What do you know? What's been going on in your street this week?
Is he a cunt? Tell me about it. Come on, tell us about it.
Details. Right, yeah, so guys, welcome back to another episode with me and Mark. This week's beverage for the show, there isn't one.
Yeah, again. The reason that we ain't got beverage for the show is we forgot to ask you.
Yeah,
we forgot to ask anybody. Yeah.
So please send in your ideas.
Send in your beverage for the show. Thirsty men, these thirsty work. And we're forgetful bastards who'll forget to tell us. So you guys, we're putting it on you to make sure.
Tell us
beverage.
You tell us what we should be having for beverage for the show. So get in touch. Really appreciate it if you do. So this week's episode, we will be discussing the 1989 film
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Don't say it like that.
All right, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
There we go.
There is a pause.
There's a pause. There's a comma. There's a comma on there. Guys, strap in, relax.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. Enjoy. So, Mark, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids from 1989.
Yeah.
Give us some fun facts and box office figures.
Yeah, well, as you say, 1989, it came out the 23rd of June, 1989.
Summer film.
Nice summer film.
Bang in the middle.
It is 93 minutes long. I'll give you a second.
What a relief.
93 minutes, hour and a half, guys.
Come on.
How many times have we discussed this? It's the dream length of a film length.
That's all you need.
Yes, an hour and a half.
That's it.
And, like for a family film as well, 93 minutes. Nowadays, I swear to God, nowadays, if you think, I'm going to watch a film with all family tonight, so what do I need to do? Well, obviously, I need to check my work rota, see how much annual leave I've got left. You know what I mean? Oh, it's 3 hours long.
3 hours, yeah.
90 minutes, 93 minutes.
Spot on.
So realistically, because no one's staying to watch the credits, 80 minutes really. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Come on. We like it. Yeah. Fast paced, bish bash bosh, beginning, middle and end.
Yeah.
Story told.
I think that's important to say.
Let's get it out there.
Box office, it had a budget of 18 million. So very steady for what it is, quite large really.
Yeah.
But it grossed worldwide, fucking wait for it, $222.7 million USD.
Mega money.
Fuck me.
Mega money.
That amount of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow. Yes, it made most of that domestically. It made just nearly 131 million domestic. But then still made 92 million in the rest of the world. So
big numbers. That.
They don't even need to release it in the rest of the world. Do
you want it? Yeah. No. We made our money now. We make it.
But yeah, it's a hit. It's a hit.
Big hit.
Big hit.
Big hit.
Yeah, it was for 5 years in a row the highest grossing live action Disney film.
Really?
For 5 years.
Mid-90s?
Yeah.
What overtook it?
Do you know, that would have been an absolutely excellent thing to write down, wouldn't it? Like, as far as good facts would go, that would have been a fucking winner, that, wouldn't it? But no, Summit overtook it. We don't know what. Summit. Some load of old shit, probably. Overtook. Wow.
You couldn't be asked to follow the facts up.
No, this is a moment for our listeners, is this? Write in to tell us.
Fucking Mark didn't do any research.
Yeah, that's really bad.
For 5 years, and then
come on, something happened, and it stopped being that now. Right. So moving swiftly on. Originally, they were going to cast Chevy Chase.
Really?
Yeah, in we'll come to the casting. Rick Moranis' character in the main character.
That's interesting.
As Wayne Stilinski. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, we're going to be Chevy Chase. I can see it.
But I think Chevy Chase might have overread the pudding.
He were busy doing other national lampoons.
I think Chevy Chase would have over-egged the pudding in that role. I think Rick Moranis just restrains it a little bit from his normal.
Mate, we'll come to. I'm sure when we give the cast, but like, I think Rick Moranis were fucking born to play this role.
Yeah,
it's his part.
Yeah.
Can't imagine anyone else in it now.
No, we'll get to him.
Yeah, we'll get to him. But I really liked this. The special effects crew won Best Effects at the BAFTAs in 1990, and I'm going to say right now, I think they probably deserve that.
100%.
Practical effects.
100%.
We'll come on to that in a deep thing, but I'm glad that our version of the Oscars went, we'll have that. That's not that. It's good that. I don't care what the plot is. That's good that.
Yeah, I'll speak about that in a bit.
You know, so yeah, those are some fun facts. Admittedly, an incomplete fact. I've planted a seed with the audience with that one, but a fun seed. But yeah, have you got any fun facts to have fun with?
So a couple of really interesting things about this film. So it was directed by Joe Johnston, and it was his debut film.
Yes, I did read that it never done one before.
Never done one, but the guy fucking was on a roll because he's directed Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, The Rocketeer, and Captain America, the first Avenger.
I realise it's not going to be, but that's my favourite Marvel film. It's just a really good war film.
Yeah, it's good. So this guy knows what he's doing, but
he also did The Page Master, which is not a very well regarded film, but it's like that sort of half cartoon, half live action. Yeah.
Has it got Macaulay Culkin?
It has got Macaulay Culkin in it.
I didn't know that film. So this guy's like he's gone on to do things.
Yeah. On the basis of it, we gave him the money that this made. I can't imagine Disney took a look at him and thought, after making that kind of money, we're not going to give him another job.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, The Rocketeer, which is kind of a cult-ish live
I
action.
like The Rocketeer.
Produced by Disney. Written by... Now, this is really interesting. I didn't know this until I did a bit of research. Written by Stuart Gordon and Brian Usner, which these two guys are more well known for their horror output.
Okay.
Which is really left field. And they was involved with one of my favourite horror films of all time, Reanimator. Really cult 80s horror film. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft character.
Okay.
About a doctor that creates this serum that can bring the dead back to life.
Okay.
But in doing so, they're like almost like zombie-like, or do you know what I mean, or like nasty, and they turn basically. They're not like, I'm just back to life.
Yeah,
they're on a shell of their self.
Yeah, there's something wrong with them. Yeah.
So that's really interesting. But another really interesting thing, the music by James Horner.
Okay. Can I have some ancillary information with it?
He did Titanic.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
That's probably his biggest film, but James Horner is like a massive, really famous composer of many, many famous film scores. Yeah.
I like the score in this. I thought
I put the score as one of my highlights. I think it fits the tone of the film really, really well. James Horner, a really famous guy, did the score, and I really rate the score in this film. Moving on to the cast. Rick Moranis plays Wayne Stilinski, which is like the dad of the main family. Yeah. Obviously, he's known for many comedy things, but he was in Ghostbusters. You know.
Well, I suppose
not going to not mention the Ghostbusters.
No, I know, but just on a serious point, I suppose I have to get that. It was the thing that brought him to people's attention. Although I think that this is probably, I know you love the I love the Ghostbusters, but I know you're like big fan.
Oh yeah.
But I think when people think Rick Moranis, I think this probably is one of the films that people think of rather than the Ghostbusters. I think this is Rick Moranis's part. He just imbibes the character. Of
I agree.
This of Wayne Szalinski.
So he's the father of the main characters in the film, and then the father of the next door neighbours is a guy called Matt Frewer. Big Russ. He was in Supergirl and Dawn of the Dead remake. He's been in loads. He's a bit part character.
Yeah,
you see his face in loads of things.
You'll immediately see his face and be like, "Yeah, I've seen you in millions of stuff."
Yeah.
And people go, "What?" And you're like, "I've no idea, but I know his face."
Yeah,
he does. He plays a neighbour quite a lot.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he plays
got a strange
an ancillary character.
Yeah.
So Marcia Strasman plays Diane Szalinski, Wayne's wife, and she didn't really do much in the film thing. She died as well of cancer. That's really sad. But she's obviously she was in the sequel, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which we'll get onto way further down the road. Christine Sutherland is Mae Thompson. And she's literally the wife of the next door neighbours to Rick Moranis' character, and she's done fuck all of that.
Well, I suppose she's a TV actress.
And she is basically. She's done TV,
and we won't know because she'd be in American TV of that time, and given we're English, we're not really,
So they're moving on to the children of the families.
Who are the main characters, really? Apart from Rick Moranis, who are the main characters.
So Thomas Wilson Brown plays Little Russ, and he was in Beverly Hills 902 and on CSI, so not really done much more TV things. Jared Rushton plays Ron, the son of Rick Moranis' next door neighbours, and he was in Pet Sematary 2 and Roseanne. Again, another TV kind of thing around that time. A lot of people dabbled. Amy O'Neill plays Amy, Rick Moranis' daughter, and she's in Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, which is the sequel. Didn't do much else. And Robert Oliveira as Nick, Rick Moranis' son.
Rick Moranis' fucking tiny clone.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like the main cast.
There's no one else. No. There's two policemen. Like, who cares?
And someone he talks to when he's giving that seminar, he's like his mate, who's like, "Oh, you."
So I think there's not really a lot to be said about the cast.
Not really. They're fine.
The only star among them, I suppose, is Rick Moranis, and I wouldn't really even.
Amongst the cast, the acting and the script is quite adequate, and it does its
perfectly.
Job.
Perfectly. I'm not getting at them on that, but look, they are what they are. They're mostly TV talent, jobbing actors, journeyman actors, I suppose.
Yeah, and a decent part. It's interesting about shrinking.
Yeah, and just. Right, all this film is a nice family fun film.
A family fun adventure.
You know what I mean? They carry it off perfectly well. So have we got a loose plot, as if someone doesn't know
what Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is about? So the synopsis, I would say, the film is about a struggling inventor who shrinks his kids and his neighbours' kids down to 1/4 of an inch size. So that's pretty much it. But after getting thrown out with the trash, they must work together and find their way back to the house. So
they have to cross the garden, essentially,
and which equates to 3.2 miles.
Oh,
in
right.
Terms.
This is the only thing where it's like they were like. Oh, so that equates to like 3.2 miles to them, their size, and it's like, well, that's not bad. The immediate thought, they're like, and we have to go 3.2 miles, and I immediately thought to myself, oh well, that's all right then. I mean, how far away is school? Like, do you know, like?
Well, you see the adventure they went on. In 3 miles, what shit can
takes them all day to 3 miles.
I know.
It's not that dangerous.
They go sleep.
Yeah, they go to sleep. They go to sleep. Just carry on fucking what? You'll be there.
Yeah, you're home.
You're wrong.
So a couple of interesting things as well. The original title for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was
Well,
Teeny Weenies.
it went through a few, didn't it? Teeny Weenies. And they cut that justifiably so because they thought that sounded like a baby's show. Like
what a strange name.
I mean, it makes sense.
Teens and you
Teeny Weenies.
Yeah,
you can see what they did there. Like, what such wordplay, Disney. Yeah, correctly, they dropped that. 100%. It was going to be something else. It was then going to be called Grounded or something like that.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, because every teenager would know what it's like to be grounded, and they have to be there. Tiny little things, and you're like, no, it's just. Not that one. Not that one.
Not that one.
Not that one. Not that one. Don't touch that one.
Sack him. He's come up with Grounded. What's that? He's not good at it.
And then, what did he become after that? Well, I forgot what it is, but they had another one. They had another name in between that and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And Disney was really nervous about it. There's a theme there, isn't there, with Disney?
Well, yeah, they're a very nervy company.
But they make fucking loads of money.
Well, yeah, probably, because they're a little bit nervy about things, so they tend to either try and make it really good or they just won't release it because they're a nervy company. They don't want to upset people. If there's one thing that we know about the Disney Corporation, we don't want to upset you. Upset you is exactly the last thing we want to do. So, do you like it? No? Oh, alright, it's fuck all to do with us. Run away, sell it. Sell it. Sony will have it. Sony will have it.
Sell it to Sony.
Oh, there's a little film geek joke there for you people if you got it.
Yeah, you probably won't, but we always do.
But yeah.
So there's a couple of facts, mate. Interesting things, and like I say, it's written by like guys that are more recognised
but known for something different. And
Very
do you know? In terms of film, but I can see why there's an element of that in what they're trying to do, because they do try and indicate in a very light-hearted way that it would be absolutely terrifying to be that big.
I think that's an interesting point to kick off on, because I think the production design overall is fucking high standard.
Stunning.
Good.
I've definitely
and
written
it portrays the world from that view. Everything. Good.
The practical effects in this film are some of the best that I've ever seen. Justifiably, did the BAFTAs decide we're going to give it
100%?
Because wow, the practical effects right off the mark. There's the ant and the scorpion and stuff like that.
I've got a list.
And the stop motion. The stop motion is outstanding stop motion with the ant and the scorpion.
Yeah.
By the way, that's either the world's biggest fucking ant or smallest scorpion.
I did. I made a note of that, and I've put scorpion ? Doesn't make sense !
Yeah. Right, that scorpion should be 10 or 15 times the size of that fucking ant.
And for what? That's what I mean. The scale's really dodgy in that particular scene.
But
where the fuck is a scorpion come from?
They have scorpions in America.
No, but
we don't know where they were. They don't know where. I don't know where they are. I reckon they're in California somewhere.
I'm still not having it.
Okay, but it's stunningly put together, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even the props, the sets.
This is what I'm saying.
The production of the thing.
The production
stunning,
design's great, mate. Great.
Yeah, like justifiably they won that BAFTA. Like even 100%. Just the sets, like the big Sig. His dad's
the Oreo, mate. I've got
Oreo,
listen. So the fly sequence.
Oh yeah, the bee thing.
Right, and the general. They make the garden or the grass look like a jungle.
Yeah, like a proper jungle.
Like a proper, with a scale.
But that's the tone that they got brilliant.
And the sprinkler scene with the raindrops, mate.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I listened to it in surround sound, mate, and it really, all these sequences make use, and again the score. That's why I thought, bloody hell, that score's really
It's like being bombarded, and the
sound design on the scenes as well.
Just
really
a little
good.
clever note. I always liked the fact that it's not just water; it's heavier than water, because the smaller you are, the thicker things like a liquid like that would be. So it's gunk to that. It's goo. It's essentially you've been fucking slimed.
The Oreo,
by
mate.
this thing.
Ante. The ant.
Yeah.
Like you say, the cigarette, the Lego block that they have a kip in.
So good. The
lawnmower and the fucking the wind and the guy climbing on the dog and then in the cereal.
Just even when the Rick Moranis brushes them up and puts them in the dustpan and brush. Yeah, he's got the dustpan there, and when he pours them down, there's shit coming down with them. This massive bolt thing. Oh,
yeah, because it's the sweepings from his fucking
because he's kicked off because he don't think he
smashes it up,
so he smashes it to bits. But
and do you know what as well? I put one of the first things I put down at the beginning when it's like of its time, the like the gadgets, and it was at a time when mobile phones didn't really exist. I mean, he was around, but no one really had them.
No one had. There'd probably been about the size of a brick, and no one would have had them except you fucking pretentious prick who everyone fucking
in his
hated.
car.
Yeah. That's the era.
Hi, Dave Johnson here, and I'm talking to you while I'm driving.
Yeah, on my new mobile.
On my, the mobile.
On the mobes.
On the
mobes.
Yeah, Dave here.
Yeah.
I'm driving.
This is Quentin.
I'm talking.
Yeah, this is crazy. Can you believe this?
Oh, this is hilarious. £17,000 a year it's costing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, it would have been those sorts of people. Everyone had a landline.
Yeah.
That's it. That's one thing that I always felt was strange about it. Just the shit inventions in his house. Why do you need that? Why do you need... Right, you can tell it's such an 80s film because, you got a wacky, crazy inventor man. He's obviously going to invent a way to answer... Yeah, he's going to invent a way of answering the phone as opposed to just picking up the phone. Because it's no easier. She's got to still pick it up. It's just got a finger that presses the dial and you're like, well, that's fucking pointless, isn't it? But yeah, that's a nitpick. It's a nitpick. I would say that one of the things that I really liked about this film is how it looks. That set design. That's everything about it.
It's well directed for someone who's
his first one. This is his first go. Wow,
we've been on a run here with people doing the first and coming out with really good results. You know it.
Do you know? That's just natural talent. I mean, he's probably studied it and he probably knows how to do it. But this is his first time in the chair, and he's
go on.
Yeah, this is
the key. Here's the key.
Yeah, this is how you do it. Honest to God, do not fuck it up.
Yeah.
It is Disney, we will have you shot.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
So
your wife and children would never see you again.
Yeah. But, if you want to see little Marcia again, then perhaps.
Yeah. 20 million this.
Yeah, 20 million at least.
Every morning he gets an email, 20 million.
Or else.
Yeah. Gets a phone call on his car phone.
Yeah.
20 million.
It's quite a wrong number. It's the wrong number. Anyway, sorry. It's a good looking film. Is it?
Again, I think the set design and the production is really, really good. So let me move on to go on. You go first.
Oh well, I've got to get. I also, just by the way, quick one. I like the opening credits, the animated thing at the beginning, because in that such an old-fashioned way of doing a family film. The credits would be animated like a cartoon, but it's not a cartoon. It goes into live action.
I think Disney did that more than once as well.
Oh yeah, it's very much the thing they do, but I like it. You never have it. You don't get it nowadays.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? Just
white titles on a black back.
Yeah,
basically.
There you can see it in the new gritty Care Bear film, and you're like, oh, cheer up, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But this immediately sets the tone of the thing. It's you have fun. They've been shrunk down little, these people.
So, do you know what is an interesting thing as well, kind of talking about the theme of the film, where people are actually getting shrunk? Why is it that this film got to in 1989, when it was released, they'd been films the previous decade and the decade previous to that had the same theme of people shrinking or getting bigger. But then when this film was made and it was such a big hit, I mean, I know we'll get onto the sequels later, but if you look, there wasn't a film about shrinking or scale until Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's a good point. I suppose with it being such a big hit, everyone.
But then why is he such like a 30-year gap? Basically?
I know, but I've got like what else?
Because look, Ant-Man did Ant-Man, and when you can play with scale and technology you can use now, you know, that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids pulled it off perfectly for that time.
Yeah,
and does it hold up now? I think it fucking holds up, mate, really well.
Visually, I think it does. It really does hold up. People just let go occasionally of your bias towards CGI and just remember that's what you can do with physical things that the actor is interacting with. Yeah. Those sets
less and less now.
Less, and I understand why. I do understand why, but it's just so nice to go back and just think everything that actor's touching at the moment
like
is in the
giant Oreo, mate, and the water, and it's physical. It's there.
He's properly interacting with all of the set and everything that's being used, and you can tell there is a feeling of realness about it that I think a lot of, shall we say, over CGI,
which happens a lot.
Which does happen a lot, and nowadays we're so much better than when like CGI became a thing. You just used it at one point. It just used to be, that's all a film would be.
Well, that's what Avatar is, pretty much.
Well, yeah, no, but you know how I feel about Avatar, which is I didn't think that one was that great, and quite frankly, nothing deserves 4 more. To right from the off say we're going to have 4. Not one sequence. It's like 20 years later or something. It's not that long, but we've got 10, 15 years or something daft like that. You have one, right? See whether people remember it and are bothered. 4, fuck off. I'm not watching 4. Fuck off. Assumptive, cheeky bastards.
I won't know the end of the story for another 8 years.
Who cares? Yeah. Anyway, that's a small diverge, but
yeah. Well, that's fine.
So yeah, what else did I like about it? I really liked Rick Moranis in it.
Really good in it.
He's really good. He carries the film.
He is ace in it.
And like I said, what I say at the very top of the show, he was born to play this part. It's his part. And he does it really, really, really well. I mean, he makes for a very, very clever man, he makes daft decisions.
Yeah, but that's the character.
But that's it. It kind of is the character. He's a very, very intelligent goofball. Like, why does it... He has a very Queenie moment where he smashes his thing to... And I thought, that's me, that. That's absolutely me. Load of old shit, smash it to pieces. And then find out my kids have been shrunk over there, and you're like, oh shit. That'd be me. That would be me. And I was like, oh, Wayne, time out. Yeah. Stop it. Oh, he's going to smash it. I knew he was channeling me then. Yeah. Smash that to bits.
Yeah, and then doing that allows him to eventually find out, like, oh shit, my kids have shrunk my kids.
Yeah. And do you know what I really like about it as well is so many... No, not so many, but like they could have just shown him just being a goofball, but do you know what? He always comes across like I've got to sort my kids out now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. His heart. It's the film has heart.
Yeah, and I think he is the heart of it when he makes that like spinny thing. So him and his missus, first just him around. And then him and his missus. So they can comb through that. I mean, his first idea is to walk on it on stilts, and you're like, it's not a genius idea because it's exactly the same as it's exactly the same as walking on the thing. So not your best. Try again, and he does. He's like, you can tell he's an inventor with that. I know it's silly, but he's just like, this don't work. We'll invent a thing.
Yeah, where I'm just hovering.
You know what I mean? And it's just it's clever. And well, not so much clever. It's got a lot of heart. Yeah,
it has a lot of heart. The film has a lot of heart. You know, and then again, I think And the weird thing is, I thought about this film in terms of age rating, right? And I think it's a PG. It wouldn't even. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a U.
It's got to be a U now.
I was going to say
it'll be a U now.
I think so.
But when it came out, I'm pretty sure it were a PG.
I do
because a lot of it is another thing that I want to bring up. The critics at the time, quite frankly, they needed to grow up in 1989. Yeah, they really didn't like it, and it's that typical. I'm smarter than a film meant for 10-year-olds.
Well, this is it. Again.
Do you know what I mean?
This is
it. Like, well, the tone is very wacky, isn't it? Yeah, it's a kids' film.
And it is, and hang on, just pause. Right, let me just go into that and follow that. And I think I think the film is aged at once you get 10, I've done now. I think any kid up to the age of 10, you'd be like, this is cool.
I think it's got an age range between 8 and 12. You scattershot around that. Yeah, I could say. I think I'd have still liked it at 11, 12. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I'm nearly 40 and I like it.
I know, but not all of us were born when fucking William the Conqueror took the country. Do you know what I mean?
This is true. I'm an exception to the rule. Yeah, I'd get whatever, that range. 10 is the mid-range for me of that thing.
Right, but all the people were like, oh, the tone is very weird. It's like this film's meant for fucking 10-year-olds or something like that. And you're like, well, it fucking is, isn't it?
It is.
And what were one that said, I told you about it earlier, where there was this is a very childish film. Yeah, it's a fucking kids film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like dogging it down just because.
And I tell you what it is. It's just Mardy people spend too much. I know I'm saying this as someone who is spending time thinking about a film, but I'm like, you spend too much time thinking about films. You're overthinking it. It's a kids' film about.
Kids
they get shrunk. They get shrunk, and they have to cross garden, and garden's like a jungle because it would be if you were an half an inch tall.
Oh no, it's a quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch, but I beg your pardon, half of what I said. Like, you know. So, yeah, fucking cheer up. Is what I had to say.
But I think it's one of these films that was. Everyone has fucking seen it.
Everyone's seen it, which is why we haven't spent a great deal of time talking about like what happens in what happens in the film.
Yeah, and again, it's the film is just full of it's a series of sequences from the kids getting from that end of the garden up to trying to make their way back to the house.
It's just a series of action set pieces, or just little character beats, and then that's it. Because the plot's nothing. It's literally they've got to get from one end of garden to other end of garden, and they come across various obstacles. The bee, the ant, and the scorpion, the sprinklers.
The water.
But again, it's like
the Oreo.
Like the kids aren't bad in it either.
They're all fine. Do you know what though? All right, okay, right. So, let's get onto a couple of my criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ron, I know that the youngest son of Rick Moranis' neighbours, is a knobhead. He does me head in. Don't like that character.
Yeah, he is a little twat.
Why, you little twat?
Yeah.
He is, and he's one of them, like, every American film always has a character like that, they always have a character that's like the whinger or the moaner or the, like...
Why we gotta go... Oh, yeah. Right.
Why?
When he takes out the bins at the end, he takes out the bin and puts it, and they cut the way out at bin bag, right? He's like, I'm going home. I'm going fishing. Well, you're not, because you're quarter of an inch tall.
No,
are you? You're not. And he's like, come on, we'll go home. And everyone else is like, my dad's the only one that can turn you back to normal, so we've got to go to my house. Oh. And he's going, are you coming, Russ? To his older brother, like, are we going to go home? If I were older brother, he just goes, do you think your dad can change his back? And he was like, well, he's turned you that small, so who else could?
If you can't with foot. We're a quite.
Do you know what I mean? Why don't you just say to your shitty knobhead little brother, how can we go home? How can we go... Shut up.
Shut up.
What do you know, you silly blonde fucking 9-year-old?
Prick.
Yeah. Stupid moment. Yeah, I've even written it down. Can your dad help us? ?
Oh, no.
Well, yeah. Can your dad, who's basically all he knows about is fishing, presumably.
Fishing, yeah.
And
sport.
And sport.
And that's another thing, going on to another annoying character. Their father. It paints that picture really early on, but then kind of fucks that plot line off where he's like, he's been kicked off the sports team at school and he's like, oh no, and it's a bad thing and my son's into sports and he's a real man. And I'm like, again, another typical dad thing in American films.
He is, but he's very the bloke next door who's got...
Fishing and boys and...
Yeah, and... The reason he's like that is not because you're supposed to dislike the character. You're supposed to compare him to... He's the polar opposite of our main character, father.
Okay, yeah,
that's what
Correct.
he is yin and yang.
Correct.
It's the different thing. So their dynamics got to be love for their children, but coming the opposite way. But yeah, he's slightly annoying character, but he's a necessary character. If you're going to make Rick Moranis like that, you need that guy.
Okay, counterpoint. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do need
right,
that. You
right.
do need that guy, even though I'm solidly with you. He's an annoying character, but he's a necessary character.
True.
But yeah, the whole cast is pretty all right to carry us through to as big moments where you can see him riding the bee, you can see him sleeping in the Lego, you can see the water, the sprinkler, you can see him looking with his down on them with his magnifying glass and stuff like that.
Do you know what I did enjoy about the film as well, mate? I think it portrays because of the scale of the children when they shrunk. This and I think this is a big credit to Joe Johnson, the director. It's dangerous. This, like you said, you've hinted on it earlier on in the conversation, whereas you've gone. Each scenario there's an obstacle to overcome this danger. You know how dangerous it is.
And I think the film conveys that really genuine. Well. There are a few moments where you're not scared because it's not scary.
No, you know they're
not scared.
It's like when he has to revive her.
But there's genuine threat involved in it. And
like she says, she virtually fucking drowns.
Well, yeah, she does.
Fucking have to revive her.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's his heroic moment, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, they end up playing footsie underneath the table at the end of the film.
You know, yeah.
Like French kissing. Oh, don't.
That's probably the most 80s thing that I've seen. That like,
French class.
They get it. Oh. They get it. French class.
Yeah, they just want to fucking smooch.
Yeah. It would have been fine if they'd have just left it the first time they did that joke. Where did you learn that French class? Oh, everyone over the age of 15 went, ha, right.
Lol.
Yeah, but just leave it alone then. Did that deserve being called back at the end? I mean, it's like,
no.
that wasn't the best joke in the fucking film.
And then you ended it on that.
All right then. Well, that was a choice, wasn't it, Joe? We made that choice. It was the wrong one, but we made it.
We did it.
But, yeah. Because that's the thing. I think the tone is pretty much exactly right in 100%. Most of it.
100%.
I think the only major criticism I've got of it is that the plot's a big nothing burger of a film, really. Because it's sort of precisely what they're saying. But whereas on one hand, I'm saying it doesn't need it because all it's doing is providing us our little cinematic moments and a few like heartwarming laughs on the way. But I don't know, there could have just been one or two moments where like the smart kid could have been a little bit more smart. Gave us a few moments of like, no, we'll not do it like this, we'll do it like this. There were none of that.
Okay.
Or maybe the kids just having more moments to just actually shine. Rather
than running away from danger and just stumbling on things.
Yeah. Why isn't there a moment where the smart kid Nick is saying, we'll do it this way. He has one moment where he's like, oh, we'll try and whistle for the dog, and that don't work, and then he has no real idea. Right, and then he has no real ideas from then, and it's like, isn't he the smart kid? Like, come on, just...
do you know what? I didn't see it like that, but yeah, okay, I didn't see that point of the film, like, but I agree, alright, okay, come on, benefit from it.
They're the thing, just a touch more plot with the kids in the garden, and if that means cutting out one or two scenes with the next door neighbour's parents, like the one where his friends come to pick him up,
and he's like,
I can't go in, and lies inexplicably. Like, why does he say there's something with his missus? Why didn't he just go, me kids, we can't go because we can't find me kids. Why don't you just do that? Is that somehow embarrassing? I suppose it is, because
good point.
But so if you would have had to cut that scene to have just an extra scene of Nick being clever, her being resourceful, I don't know, whatever you could think of her being, him being brave,
a very good point.
The other lad being cleverer than you think it was, then so be it. Cut that little character building plot cul-de-sac away and just have that. It's not a criticism, it's just I think it could benefit.
An observation of
benefit from that, and you wouldn't add to the runtime unnecessarily.
I agree with that, actually. I agree that it's a very valid point, and I agree with you. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that really encapsulates like my main criticism of the film. It's just
the plot.
The plot. It's very, very bare. It's very bare. But then again, I wouldn't want to change it too much, because I wouldn't want to add to the runtime unnecessarily.
Oh,
because
we do not want to be doing that,
right? And also, like, did it really need those, or am I just nitpicking? I think I'm nitpicking.
No, but I think you're right. But it doesn't. You're right, but it doesn't need it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't need it. But if I could pick on something, then that's really what I'd pick on. Because I don't think anyone where, like, another scene, the scene with the police thing is kind of unnecessary.
But then did they pad it? Did they have to pad it then? Because you have these kids running through grass.
That's what I suspect. As you watch it now, as a kid, you'd have been watching this and just like enthralled. I can see why so many kids love it. I loved it. Loved this film when I was little.
Can I be honest? I think my appreciation for it had probably built, and at the time I was like, I've seen it, I've moved on, I'm done. You know, it wasn't I wasn't at that time, I was...
Well, you would have been 28, wouldn't you?
That's
something
true.
Like that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, get embarrassed going to Blockbuster ironing it out.
No, you'll have only been about 10, wouldn't you? Something like that.
No.
Oh, not even that. I had another 3 months in the womb. I was still cooking. I was cooking.
I was out.
I would emerge that year. In the year of I would emerge, but not yet. I wasn't finished. I was just crisping up.
Yeah. yeah. 20 more minutes.
Yeah. Give us a little bit, just a bit longer, Sheila. A bit longer.
Yeah. But no, I it's one of the films I watched probably at the time. I remember seeing it. I can't remember what year, obviously, but definitely one of these video that was knocking about. It was on video at the time. But I don't know, it's one of the films I watched and I was like, right, I'm done now. I've seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
And then I didn't revisit it for a very long time.
I used to watch it quite a lot, really. Like, we had it on video. Like, it was just one of them where you know, like every little kid at one point, they have a cycle of about 10 videos that you can just watch. And actually, your mum kind of likes
every
well.
Christmas and one for birthdays.
Your mum kind of likes it as well. She's not like, I'm massive Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
I'll watch
fan,
it with you.
But I'll watch it with
go on then. We can watch that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's Sunday afternoon. That's what this is. It's a Sunday afternoon family film.
Yeah.
And I actually think it leans into that. It knows it's that. And
all the better for it for me.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I was thinking to myself when I was watching it, they don't really make films like this anymore. They don't. They do. They make a fun family film.
Do you know what it is? I think
I might be being harsh.
No, I think you're right. I think they try to make family films these days too complicated and big.
Yeah.
Whereas this is quite small, and it's
small. You only have one set away from the house.
Yeah.
When he goes to his work.
Yeah, when he gives the presentation to all his colleagues to say, I've created a machine that can shrink things.
And they went, prove it, and he went, can't do that yet. And they all, given that it's a meeting of, like, science people, they are all understandably, actually, like, welcome to us when you've finished, then.
We're going.
Yeah, we're going. Thanks, but...
And his mate went, well, you can't prove anything until...
Yeah, you do have to prove that... Yeah, you do have to prove things to them, you know, and he's like, yeah, and it's like, come on, I thought you were a scientist, so wasn't this the point?
Do you know what I noticed? Do you know what I noticed in that scene? Why is it in every film, and this is... I think this is true, and, you know, call me out, listeners, if I'm wrong.
Do it, hound him.
But why is it in every, like... 80s film that has a little inkling of science are those coloured balls, you know, like the molecules. Everyone's got every cunt's got a set of these molecules. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
He's carrying a box and like, there's the fucking molecules again. Every fucking 8 as well.
Whenever they had to carry a box, carry everything. Yeah, you're quite right. Well, they probably all do. I'm just going to say they all do. They all have them. You get it when you get your degree.
Yeah.
you get it, the vice chancellor. There's your degree. Cheers, thank you.
Where's your molecules?
There's your molecule trophy. Oh, man.
I can go pick in your box.
Ace. They all get one.
Yeah.
I'd get,
Just in the line them up together to like one big molecule.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
These molecule things.
That's where they get them from. So yeah, that's his honorary doctorate in.
That proves he's a scientist. If you got them. Yeah. Are you a scientist? Yeah. Have you got any molecules? No. Fucking liar!
Yeah.
Are you a scientist? Yeah. Have you got molecules? Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
He's hired. He must be him.
100%.
But yeah, that's the only set away from the house. Our main area.
Yeah. The garden.
And I agree with you. Films for families nowadays, films for families. I'm beginning to get the impression they want to leave a deep impression on the people. They want to make it.
They're trying to throw loads of things in it instead of
and
just
it's just like this'll be a film like this, regardless of its gossamer thin plot, as we've discussed. We'll always come back to watch this. This is going to be watched forever.
Yeah, I think
you know
so,
what I mean.
Yeah.
There'll be films. There are so many films like that where it's going to be returned to time after time after time after time. And do you know why? Because it's not hard. It's something that a family or anyone, a group of people can just sit down and it will be on and it will hold your gaze in a good way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a cracking little film. A cracking little film. You know, it was that cracking at the time. It made that much money. Then it managed to get a fucking couple of sequels.
It did. It got what right? Funny I blew up the kid.
So the plot of
apparently. Yeah.
So the plot of that is they have a baby.
They have an accident.
They have
an accident. Well, but there's such a massive age gap. Like.
Between the kids.
So they have another accident because that family intended to have one. Right, the girl. Right, and then they're like, "Oh, whoops, there's another one." So, and then a few years later, it's like, "Oh, whoops, there's another one," because it's too much of an age gap for it not to be an accident, but too short to get away with, not to get away with.
Yeah. So the plot of the sequel, which is called Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
So it's done opposite. They've gone right little, and then they're going to get right big. Now, that's why it's how it turned dial other way.
Other way. Their youngest child is a toddler. Can't really talk, but he can walk. And then basically the same thing happens. He gets hit with a laser, and instead of shrinking, he keeps growing. Basically, and he rampages round Las Vegas.
Yeah, smash it. It got right. It's right. As a sequel goes to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
You can only go the opposite.
You can only... What else were they supposed to do? Just do the same thing again? Well, actually, they should have just done the same thing again. Someone else got shrunk. But...
Only I shrunk the dog.
So, anyway, they went the other way. But that kid is so hideously annoying in it. Right.
In his fucking dungarees.
Now, there's no wrong with the dungaree. There are pictures of me in a dungaree. I was dungareed.
Okay.
They were pink as well.
Oh, God.
But, yeah.
That's another show,
that kid, hideous, Mommy! And starts fucking wailing.
And the bunny is like...
Yeah, and
the bunny rabbit.
That little kid, you just think to yourself, I bet you every mother would just like, I know you shouldn't say this, but it's a film from the 90s. Backhand that kid. Twat it. Because a petulant little asshole.
Better do as you're told.
Yeah, a little bit. At the end, when the mother... I don't know when last time you saw it, but I distinctly remember...
I've not seen it for years.
No, neither have I, but I distinctly remember the mother gets blown up to be proportionately big enough to see it as his man again.
Yeah.
Right? And after all the shit that this little kid's done, she's like, come baby, come to me. Do that to my mother. Right! Look at all the shit you've caused into this little kid. Look at this!
Bang! You little shits. Backhander.
Do you know what I mean? Just anyone's mother back in the 90s or any Englishman's mother fuming at this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it must be too. You have to start teaching it something at some point.
So let's swiftly move on from this little bastard kid that gets blown up. So they did have a third film, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. So they went back!
It was the film that they should have been.
Yeah, they went back.
Basically, they
really where that was. Yeah. Should we go small again? Yeah,
let's do small. I have seen that film. I'm not. Yeah, I definitely straight to video. This one, I think I rented it from thing. He's only one. Yeah, he's only one.
Yeah. Is it a bit of a made for TV? Get it out there.
It is a bit made for TV, but I think it's the most like the original. Then
obviously,
you know what I mean. The Shrink again. There's lots of practical effects, more CGI, but that were very early days. Back then, this would have been 2003, 2004.
Is it really that? Right, okay.
Or maybe
I genuinely don't know when it come out, that one.
I don't know. Maybe even earlier. Maybe 99, 2000.
Yeah, I was going to say you'd expect 3-4 years after Honey and I blew up the kid.
Yeah.
But they also made a Disney ride in 1994 called Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
You can see why they make a Disney.
I've been on that ride in Florida when I went to Disney World, when I was 16.
Because
it's cool. The dog sneezes on you, and it's like blows fucking like water at you. So it's like the dog sneezed on me. But
the dog sneezed on me.
But I went on it, mate. I went on that ride.
Yeah. There is a game, not of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but like a sort of a spiritual successor, I suppose. Is that there's some kids. It's called Grounded.
Oh,
and these kids have got shrunk. It's a survival game, and they have to live in the garden. They get shrunk to a quarter of an inch size. It's quite clearly a reference to
what platform is this on?
Oh, it's like a PC game or something. It came out 2019. I just thought it was super interesting because it must be a reference to it because it's called Grounded.
You said that, it was one of the original titles they had for it.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Did you know they made a TV series?
I did. I remember watching it.
I
can't remember a single thing that happened. Presumably,
didn't know.
People get shrunk.
Not a clue. I was surprised when I read that. I thought, what?
And he's not Rick Moranis either.
No, I gathered that. Also, apparently they are making a sequel.
They are. I only found that out today. I don't know why. Leave it alone.
But you can see why.
I know. I'm just
the lack of perspective films.
Yeah, but you said
listen. For one, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. Do I like a film where someone like shrinks or gets big? 100%, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm all in.
100%. 100%. Because I like it's. I don't know. I like the aesthetic of let's see from this perspective.
It's an interesting perspective. Well, go on then, seeing as we're going there. What would you give it? Like, what are your thoughts? What were your final thoughts?
Honestly,
yeah,
I like this film, mate.
Yeah.
I think so. Talking about it, in terms of like, are we going to do let's picking it for a show for the podcast? I remember watching it. It must have been about 12, 18 months ago. Can't remember where I watched it on, and I was just I think it was on a fucking Sunday afternoon again. Mm-hmm. These things seem to happen. Mm-hmm. And I watched it and I thought, oh, it's fucking. I think it was on like one of the ITV channels or something stupid. I thought, oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Probably more so than I did as a kid. And again, watching it to review for the podcast, for the show, again, I'm like, I like it. And I think it's a solid, fun family adventure. I think it's well directed. The score's really good, better than it needs to be. I do like the film being full of these sequences, like The Fly, like I've mentioned. I think the sound design's really good. The sprinkler scene, the giant Oreo. I think I won't necessarily go as far as saying it's underrated, because it's not, because it has a following and it has an impact in the world of popular culture.
Nearly anyone who I've ever mentioned this film to, they've always had positive.
100%.
You know what I mean? A reaction to it is
100% because it deserves
positive.
it. Because it's a sweet little, cool little family film that has. Again, it wears its heart on its sleeve, and it has messages of like family and friendship.
Yeah.
Just like a wholesome family film, and I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to praise it with an 8 or a 9. It's just a solid family film, and I think it's probably in the top third, top quarter of best family films ever made.
Yeah, so we get okay, I can see
it's
that.
It's not at the tippy top, but it's solid. It's super. It's a lot more solid than a lot of them out there.
It's an ideal family film.
100%. Yeah, I think
it's an ideal.
That is a really good way of putting it, Mark.
It's the ideal length. It's got the ideal. I know I keep drawing on the fucking length thing, but it's so important. If you're
100%.
For this type of film, that needs to be. If that went even towards
145,
too long. Yeah, too long now.
Too long. 100%. So
right. What I have to say is,
on you go.
Everything about this film I thought was stunning. I thought it looked brilliant. Holds up now.
100%.
You can watch that film and you won't be disappointed how it looks at all.
I wasn't.
It gave me such a nice feeling. It's
a wholesome film.
It's really, really wholesome and fun as well. There's no malice there. It's just a really, really good film. For a little while, I did waver about the plot. Like, I just felt like I wanted more.
But I agree with that, though. I do see your point.
I do feel like I might have enjoyed this most when I was the correct age for it. That's
fine, yeah, okay.
Around 10.
I get it.
But I can't look at this film and say I didn't enjoy myself when I was watching this film, because I absolutely did, and that's it. As you know, I always think of that. That's got to be your cast iron. Did you come out of the film at the end of it feeling I'm glad I watched that film, even if it's I'm glad I watched that film because it made me think? You know what I mean? But this one didn't make me think. It made me just feel nice. It's a nice film.
There you go.
So I was going to give it a 6. I was going to be harsh. Well, 6 is still a good film. It's above average. But I was going to be harsh. I was going to say, oh, the plot thing's really getting kind of on my nerves, and it did a little bit. But no, I think you're right. It's 7. It's a 7 film because it's the perfect, ideal family film.
It's in that category of good family films.
Every single member of your family can watch that and they'll have enjoyed yourself. So I think...
So a solid seven.
I think a solid 7, yeah.
And that's you know, it deserves it.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed it, mate. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a cool little film.
I'm glad we watched it. I mean, nearly everyone will have watched it.
Yeah, I would presume so.
If you haven't watched it in a long while, and especially if you've got kids or something to watch with your kids, watch this. This were on when I were a kid. Watch this.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I think that wraps up another episode of The Vault of Cult.
It does, yeah.
So, thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate the support.
Yeah,
Again,
always.
Get us on the socials, get us on the emails, get in contact. You know who we are, you know where we are.
Yeah. Tell us we're right, tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, give us some feedback. Yeah, it's always welcome. So, yeah, I'll say goodbye and I hope you join us next time.
Yeah, fare thee well. In a bit, skip.